nok et stort skritt I andre retning hva gjaldt ergonomi. Men, ja.
Den Wii-remoten var en av de beste og verste oppfinnelsene de har gjort. For de klarte jo, og vi må gi dem kred for det, de klarte å gjøre gaming mainstream mer enn det noensinne har vært før eller siden omtrent.
Ja, det gjorde de, og Wii Sports et legitimt kongespill. Det kjempebra.
Det det, men Wii Sports var, that was it som var gøy å spille med den kontrollen der.
Ja, altså Zelda Twilight Princess på Wii jo en kjipere versjon enn GameCube-versjonen.
Ja, og så en speil med.
Ja, det også.
My bullshit. Så Link høyre hen.
Det så feil.
Ja.
Det går ikke an.
Nei. Anyway, så ja. Men vi må, du nevner Sony, vi skal over I nyhetene.
Ja,
jeg vil bare snakke litt om Marathon. Vi har ikke noen konkret nyheter. Vi snakket litt om det forrige uke, men
så har fortsatt ikke hentet liften.
Ja, altså de har stjålet, og det har kommet ut, de har stjålet mye mer artwork enn det vi snakket om.
Ja. Ja.
Så
det for øvrig en ny ting som har skjedd siden siste podcast over det, at det har kommet ut, dette bare, det ikke offisielt eller noe.
Ja.
Det sånn...
Ja, skal jeg sette deg samme sted som I går, eller?
Ja, gjerne det. Ikke nei takk for det.
Markedsføringsbudsjettet for det spillet
Da skriver du adressen din,
ja.
Så de har bare sagt, vi har ikke tenkt å markedsføre dette spillet, nei, ja. Så det jo litt sånn, ja.
Det ser ut som det kanskje utsatt, eller verre. Det
jo, I og med at hvis de ikke har tenkt å bruke noen penger på markedsføringen for det spillet I år, så kan det jo fort være fordi det utsatt til neste år.
Ja.
Og det kan jo godt være.
Men det jeg vil lansere her nå, som jeg har tenkt på, kommer spillet I det hele tatt ut.
Ja, det jo en annen ting som kanskje, ja, jeg vet ikke. Tingen jo også at den der live service-satsingen til Sony jo tidligere sjefer som stod for.
Og det tidenes katastrofe for Sony. De har
hatt ganske mange flauser I det. Det har jo hatt bare sterke også, sånn som Helldivers 2
Helldivers 2
fantastisk.
Det var en hit.
Ja, en stor suksess, og det vel fortjent også.
Men Concord,
ja, det jo flaut.
Sinnssykt dyr flopp, og Marathon, la meg si det sånn, hvis de lanserer Marathon I høst, så flopper det akkurat sånn som Concord gjorde. Kanskje de har litt flere spillere på grunn av Bungie-navnet, men det spillet, hvis de lanserer det etter det som var planen, så flopper det. Og et annet element som dukket opp var jo det der Ark Raiders, som en annen extraction shooter, samme sjanger, og de hadde early access-greier, eller et eller annet sånt test gående, samtidig som Marathon, og folk elsker det spillet.
Ja.
Så det sånn, og det var ikke bra for Marathon.
Nei, det lover jo ikke så godt, og det jo, ja.
Men dere begge dere to foretrekker singleplayer-opplevelser, hvis jeg har forstått det rett?
Ja.
Eller, altså Jostein, du liker vel litt også for Final Fantasy Online eller 14?
Også, jeg foretrekker, hvis jeg skal sette på det og kose meg med et spill I helga, så foretrekker jeg et narrativt singleplayer-spill.
Ja.
Men jeg kan godt spille slåssespill online og Apex.
Hundrevis av timer Apex Legends.
Ja.
Så jeg likte veldig godt det.
Jeg skulle bare sette stagen fordi I mitt hode da, det kan være at det ligger en underdiagnostisert ADHD der, men jeg jo liksom, for jeg ikke noe god I sånne PvP og sånn, men jeg elsker online-univers, men jeg såpass avhengig av det å sitte I chat og bare skravle med noen, at jeg har sittet og spilt, jeg har nesten rundet hele Starfield I chat med 2 andre.
Wow.
Så måten jeg ofte min spillevane, og det tror jeg kanskje noen også kan kjenne seg igjen I, at man på en måte, noen synes det fint å sette seg noen opplevelser, bare få all spilllyden, og andre liksom, så jeg har jo liksom vært en av de som har vært litt glad for den satsningen da Sony startet da, for jeg hadde liksom trodd på at nå kan det komme noen sånne hangout-opplevelser. Jeg har jo mine 140 døgn I Sea of Thieves, fordi jeg synes det gøy å henge med folk I den verden, ikke sant? Har du et par stykker du kan, som av samme oppfatning, så kan man jo liksom være der ganske lenge. Men jeg skjønner på en måte andre enden av det på en måte, og Marathon, som vi snakker om, det var på en måte, det har ikke vært noen tegn fra det spillet som har vært noe sånn veldig sånn annet enn å fly inn et sted og miste all looten din, og så prøve en gang på nytt igjen. Det er jo ikke liksom det som frister mest.
Nei, hele extraction shooter-sjangeren er ikke min greie, for det er så high risk. Jeg blir bare stresset av det. Jeg har ikke lyst til å bli stresset på den. Ja, nettopp. Så jeg har ikke lyst til å la meg selv bli stresset av den typen spill. Men
jeg prøvde meg på PvP Sea of Thieves her om dagen, og da sto det 2 12-åringer fra England i in-game-chatten og bare harselerte med meg. Har det opptaket, og fikk tatt opp lyden av de 2
nydelig.
som bare liksom mens jeg lå liksom og duppa i vannet etter jeg ble tatt av de, så gjennom karakteren min for å se alle skinsa som indikerte at man, you've played this game for so many hours. De sto hamra på meg, hørte de små prepubertale stemmene liksom. Og da kjente jeg er alt for gammel for dette her.
Ja, det var leit.
Jeg trakassert av 2 12-åringer.
Ja, den er leit. Jeg empatiserer med den. Men nei, så jeg synes det er synd at de har sløst en... Ja, dette er litt drøyt. Det er ikke helt accurate da, men det er synd å si at de har sløst nesten en halv generasjon på ting som ikke kommer ut. Eller ting som ikke er interessert selv da.
Men også ting som ikke kommer ut.
Ja.
Jeg har kjøpt Helldivers 2, men jeg tror jeg har spilt i 10 timer.
Ja. Det er et kult spill, men det er ikke den type ting jeg vanligvis spiller.
Så er det ikke et spill jeg plukker opp alene, heller?
Nei, det er ikke sånn.
Dra meg med, liksom.
Jeg kan godt være med å spille Helldivers, men
det er Friendly Fire, og de som kjenner meg er liksom, du vil nok få noen avvarsler før du gjør det. Men jeg gjør det gjerne med det.
Ja,
ok.
Skjønner.
Spennende.
Jeg gjør det med å henge og så står det på hvilket som helst spill, så også det sagt.
Ja.
Men
det er litt synd at de satser alt. Jeg tror på en måte vi er litt enige likevel. Altså det virker som Sony på en måte har satt alt på en hest da.
Ja.
Og så ligger den hesten litt sånn, den har blitt skutt litt på, den er ikke helt, det er kanskje mer det enn noe annet, at de har litt de har hatt en bredde. Det går jo fint an å satse på noen der, men sats heller på et par prosjekter. Det startet vel som 14 eller 16 potensielle spill som skal en live service, ikke sant? Så det er liksom, hvor bredt skal du gjøre det? Alt skal være på det.
Spennende å se om 5 år hvor mange av de 15-16 satsingene som kom ut og ble.
Ja, men jeg vil egentlig påpeke en ting da. Dette er litt sånn spekulering da, men jeg tror egentlig ikke den online-satsingen har gått ut over de singleplayer-prosjektene deres.
Nei.
For vi har jo fått sånn som God of War Ragnarok og Spider-Man 2, Ratchet & Clank, Naughty Dog holder på med et singleplayer-spill.
Ja, vi har jo fått noe.
Ghost of Yotei og Ghost of Tsushima.
Men kunne noen av disse studiene her også gjort
det? Kunne
for spørsmålet har disse studiene som blitt laget fordi det var det de hadde mest lyst til, eller fordi men det er ikke noe bedre hos Microsoft-leiren da. Det gikk jo alle penger til Activision og så man skal ikke si så mye der heller, men
nei, men det er litt de prøvde på et initiativ som tydeligvis nå ikke har paid off så veldig, og den investeringen de gjorde i Bungie jeg kan ikke tro de har kjent.
Jeg tror det var 800 millioner
det at Bungie lager serverspill og lager ut lenge før Sony kjøpte de.
Det er det, men
de har ikke, jeg tror ikke de har tatt et singleplayer-studio og konvertert det om til et service-spill-studio. De har bare investert i nye studioer, og så har de ikke nødvendigvis lykkes med det. Så så er jeg litt sånn, jeg tror bare det at vi ikke har fått så mange singleplayer-spill som vi fikk forrige generasjon, fordi det er dyrere og tar lengre tid å lage den type spill på denne generasjonen. Men hvis du ser sånn som for eksempel Microsoft, hvor Arcane Austin pleide å være så mange singleplayer-spill, og så ble de satt til å lage det der Arcane-spillet som var et service-spill som ikke gikk så bra.
Det ble aldri bra. Det spillet jeg har prøvd å runde det spillet 2 ganger.
Er det PC eller
med venner og uten,
PC og Xbox.
Det er bare et spill som du merker.
Jeg hadde PlayStation 5.
Det har bare blitt til noe underveis. Det var ikke det det skulle være. Skulle det leve som noe
etter at jeg var ferdig med det. Så annonserte de at det hadde kommet på PC.
Morsomt ting. Vi snakker om kulturen innad i Bungie og sånn. Han der Pete Parsons.
Har du spilt
Get the fuck out of there.
Star Wars-spillet? Hva det heter?
Et av de solgte til Sony.
Nei, som litt eldre.
Det er ikke det, men det er sånn første han gjorde når de solgte
Hva er det han gjør der? Hva er det rollespill? Force Awakens.
Ja, kanskje var det den heter.
Ja, der du spiller. Jeg har ikke spilt det, men broren min har spilt det. Så det var
Lærlingen av Darth Vader.
Ja, er du gæren?
Ja, Starkiller, riktig.
Ja, jeg har ikke spilt det, men jeg har spilt den der andre hvor du spiller han andre Jedi som har gått i skjul.
Og han Gingeren.
Hvis du ikke...
Ja.
Hvis du... Det har
men uten sjel. Nei, jeg har spilt det, og så fikk jeg toeren som følte med det nye skjermkortet mitt. Men jeg har ikke spilt det ferdig, fordi når det kom, så var det så mange bugs og sånn.
Ja, jeg prøvde meg på den The Force Awakens. Men da spilte jeg på PlayStation 4. Det legget jo bare helt...
Jeg liker historien på eneren av den.
Det var en sånn greie. Det var en historie om et stykke armor i resten som var sånn innad i Bungie så ble det diskutert.
Ja, i hvert fall på slutten der så møter du Darth Vader et par ganger og sånt.
Ja, jeg har sett noen klipp av det.
På microtransactions i stedet. Det var en diskusjon de hadde internt. Er det for bra?
Det er jo en sånn... La oss gjøre dette spillet.
Men det beste Star Wars-spillet Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Det ganske gammelt, er det ikke?
Jo, det kommer en remake.
Hva det gjør det?
Ja, de holder på å lage
Et serverspill.
jeg driver og spiller. Jeg kjøpte det. Jeg har det fra før på PC og sånn. Jeg kjøpte det på Xboxen. For da kan jeg spille hjemme på hytta hvis jeg tar med Xboxen. Det er jævlig dårlig grafikk. Det er for så vidt bedre grafikk enn Minecraft. Men storyen er jævlig kul da.
Jeg husker jeg testet ut det der
Så har det MMO-en som heter Star Wars The Old Republic, som er ca. 300 år etter de to første Knights of the Old Republic-spillene. Og det er veldig bra grafikk. Det er også, vil jeg si, det beste online-spillet. Vanligvis i World of Warcraft så har du en historie du blir kastet inn i verden som er på en måte helt tom. Men Star Wars The Old Republic så har du ut fra hvilken klasse du velger. Du kan spille som selvfølgelig Jedi, Sith, og så kan du velge Smuggler og litt sånn forskjellige ting da. Og hver av de har en egen singleplayer-historie, og det er jævlig bra. Det er masse humor og ja, du kan...
The State of Sony.
Dette skjedde sist jeg var med dere.
Smarte folk.
Igjen, det gjorde jeg da tok jeg kritikk da også.
Så det er gratis til meg da.
På PlayStation, eller bare PC?
Vi liker det så lenge
det er et godt spørsmål. Jeg tror faktisk det har blitt crossplay nå.
Ja, det skal jeg sjekke.
Det, ja. Krever ikke så kjempebra PC eller sånn der, men ja. Da har du liksom hver storyline har du kanskje 100 timer, ikke sant?
Ja.
Det er helt sjukt. Så det er litt kult at ikke det har blitt mer populært.
Er det han som lager den? Ja. Nei, da
har jeg skrevet, tror jeg. Hvis du ikke har sett Civil War, så bør du få det.
Ok, ja, den er nice. Den vet jeg ikke, altså.
Han har også laget en serie som heter Devs. Så fantastisk.
Den har jeg hørt.
Den er helt konge. Så, jeg liksom
Han møter samme sted på år.
Ja.
Ja, det kan være godt.
Ja, det kan være interessant.
Vi skal gjøre det opp til et narrativ.
Skolefyr.
Ja, men
Det spillet har jo ikke...
Når jeg skal være der.
det har det, og det har en veldig kul setting.
Så såpass med dag, så skal inn her.
Spillet har mer setting enn det har narrativ. Det er jo ikke et lineært narrativ i det spillet.
Jo, det er jo det, men lineært er det nok ikke.
Litt energi på veien hjem.
Uansett så er det
Det blir ikke middag på bordet når du er med.
Nei, kona har gjort det til 5 middag, så...
Ja. Jeg bare
Det var ikke jeg som har laget det.
Ja,
Jeg tror du skulle bli ferdig
jeg
med
tenker
pannekaker
ikke det er naturlig.
Takk for turen.
Det var hyggelig.
Så ses vi i morgen. Ha det.
Ja, ha det.
Så det blir interessant å se.
Ja, kult.
Switch 2 har støtte for USB-mus.
Ok. Er det en nyhet?
Det er en nyhet. Spesifikt da, det har blitt vist frem i Nobunagas Ambition. Som støtter mus da. Så spillet må jo selvfølgelig implementere støtte for det, og det er jo... men da har noen andre...
Here we need to get, I guess, the primary thing is getting to the castle.
Without the right preparations, we're not going to be able to make our way to the castle, let alone find out if we can take it on. I say this gives us a chance to build our forces, build our area, and get a good scope of what are the monsters like in Drakenheim.
Rudy, you were part of the Ochtenwald Irregulars, weren't you?
Time ago, yes. It's been a while.
Well, if you can replicate some of your previous successes from the Civil War, I think taking the garrison should be no problem for you. The Lord Commander has given me the authority to dispatch the troops as needed. Do you think that this is something that you can take on?
I don't see why not. If we have our forces, as long as our intel is correct, you know, maybe we get some scouts out there and make sure we got the right information. As long as what I'm hearing is correct, I don't see why we won't be able to without, you know, a little bit of a fight, but with success.
Well, very well. Let me tell you about the situation then. If you see here on the map of Drakenheim, there's two strong points that we have to look at. First and foremost, right here on the map, he points. This is where the garrison is. It's a fortified station inside the city. 4 towers, garrison keep, strong gatehouse. We had to abandon it hastily when ratlings burrowed up in the middle of the courtyard in the midst of one of our major operations as we were attacking the Queen of Thieves' stronghold. Most of our forces fled. We had to leave most of our materials there. So there's tons of weaponry, resources, explosives, gold. Lots of our provisions are still there, and supplies, things that we had stored securely. At this point, who knows if the ratlings have devoured it or not. Getting there, though, is a challenge because of Shepherd's Gate, which is here. Now, when we fled the city, I kept the skeleton crew at Shepherd's Gate. They held the gate as long as they could so that the rest of my men could evacuate and get out. They held it as long as they could. And the soldiers that I left there to hold it never made it back. Since then, we've scouted the area. Something has happened to the men that I left behind at Shepherd's Gate. They're still manning the walls, but they shoot anyone that comes near.
And they still look like the men. I've seen some strange things that the magic around the city's done, you know, in our journey.
Several years ago, we discovered that the stockades, the prisons below, were secure. They're sufficiently far enough underground that the haze has not crept in there yet. And so we've been able to use it as a place to rest and station soldiers long term. Now, when my men evacuated, we made sure to seal it off. So hopefully it stayed that way. But that's the biggest problem, because if it's changed, then, well, there's very little point in holding it.
So unless it's the secured area, there ain't no point in keeping this.
No, because my soldiers, they need that space to camp out. It's what makes it a strategic location in the city. It allows us to actually stay in the city rather than having to retreat every night to avoid the haze and contamination.
Elias, you spent some time at this barracks. Rule number 27, there's always more than one way in or out. Besides the two main entrances, are there any ways into the barracks that we could exploit if we're trying to be stealthy in our approach?
So you're asking if we built our prison system with secret doors so prisoners who were kept there could find an escape route?
I'm just asking if there were any exploitable weaknesses that you've perhaps discovered in the time since then.
Well, I'll tell you, we bricked them
I don't know if that's up to code. Fire, safety hazards with doing that.
There were some secret passages that connected the prison system. One of the cells did have a secret passage that led into the sewers, but we did seal it and break it up years ago to make sure that that wouldn't be used against us by things like rattlings.
It sounds like the walls are the entrances it is, because the only other thing I can think of is crawling up a latrine chute, but there's no way I'm doing that.
Gross. That's gross.
Well, good evening and welcome back to the Fate of Drakenheim. This is the Dungeon Dudes weekly Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live stream campaign, and my name is Monty Martin, running our game as Dungeon Master.
This is the right episode.
Good evening and welcome back to the Fate of Drakenheim. This is the Dungeon Dudes weekly D&D 5e live stream campaign with yours truly, Monty Martin, running our game as Dungeon Master.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin, playing Sebastian Crow, the half-elf shadow sorcerer, and we're joined today by our good friends.
Jill the Nidus playing Veosenia the Tabaxi Gloomstalker Ranger Rogue.
And Joel Gorman playing Pluto Jackson, the Human Battlemaster.
Thank you for catching our live play once again. You can always also find all the other amazing content that Kelly and I create over on YouTube at the Dungeon Dudes YouTube channel, so head on over to YouTube if you want to catch all of our latest guides and videos for D&D.
You can also join us on Tuesday nights when we record the campaign live on Twitch. Check us out from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube or check us out as an audio-only podcast.
And a big thank you right off the top to all of our amazing Patreon supporters for making the work that we do here possible. We so appreciate your support, and for those of you that are interested in finding out how you can help make our work possible, we'll have more about our Patreon at the end of the episode. But for now, shall we return to the world of Drakenheim? Alright.
Drakenheim is no more. The devastation which fell upon that accursed place left a kingdom in ruin. Now, horrors lurking in the haze grow ever more great and terrible, while simmering tensions between rival factions boil over into outright war. The power of monarchs, mages, and priests hangs in the balance. 6 unlikely heroes join forces to confront the coming chaos. They shall decide, once and for all, the fate of Drakenheim.
Welcome back to Drakenheim. When last we left our heroes, Veo, Sebastian, and Pluto were in the wonderful city of Liberia, where they were making preparations for the Great Gasconade, the conclusion of the duel between High Paladin Uriel Radley of the Silver Order and Gluto Jackson, to determine many of the terms of the negotiations between Illyria and Westamar. Over the course of their adventures in the city in preparation, our heroes discovered a nefarious plot to destroy, or at least bombard, the Cathedral of St. Fiona, where the negotiations are to be held, with essentially living bombs of undead creatures. Our heroes have foiled the plot, but have been on the tail for who set these in motion. Their investigations led them to a curious lead connecting to Altbrook University and the apothecaries working there. And with the assistance of the consul of Liberio, Isabella Ezio, who has pledged that in return for our heroes having prevented the disaster that would have occurred at the Gasconade, she has put out her feelers and investigators and her soldiers to see if there are any leads that they can find over who might have been harboring this group or what might have been happening. After a very long day of adventures, our heroes have now rested up and and it is today, this afternoon, the Gasconade will be held as planned. Word is started. You are currently guests at the house of Isabella Ezio. Well, the leaders of Illyria, Caspia, and Westamar, Wilhelm von Kessel, the Lord Regent Polonius Reed, as well as the High King Venus Joplin of Caspia, they have been asked that they're not allowed to stay in Liberia, for Liberio is a neutral city, and so it will not be the guest of any foreign monarch. They're allowed to come in for the Gasconade, and they must leave afterwards. They can't remain as guests in the city proper, so they will be coming in only for the Gasconade and then leaving. Those are the terms that the free people of Liberia have imposed on these negotiations. And so, as guests in the home, you Isabella comes to each of your chamber doors and announces that the consul would like to share some privileged information with each of you, and that if you can please make your preparations and come down to meet with her in her study as soon as possible.
And much to their surprise, they knocked on 3 chamber doors, but we were all actually sleeping in one because we don't know how to be apart.
Yeah,
Puddle.
who's waking us up?
I call middle.
It was a comfy night's sleep. It was a good time.
I needed that sleep, honestly. It's been a hectic few days.
Agreed. I'm glad at least we figured out somewhat of what's going on behind the city, but I'm worried about what the day is going to bring.
I'm not too worried about it. What's the worst that could happen? It's not like anybody's life is on the line, right?
But yeah.
As you prepare yourselves and head down to the offices of Isabella Ezio, you enter her studious chamber, which is a well-appointed room with tall glass windows and sumptuous curtains that overlooks the city and the nearby gardens. Her study is rather well appointed with several portraits and paintings and works of art, but not in such a way where you've been in other nobles' chambers where they cover every possible surface with artwork or something like that, whereas Isabella's tastes are a little bit more worldly, showing portraiture perhaps of former family members that have been arranged in a respectful fashion. She has a big, large writing desk, and arranged around the writing desk are several chaise lounges and couches, as well as chairs to sit at, and an attendant brings in a wheeled table that has on it piping hot teas and caffeinated beverages with some milk, and a selection of pastries and fruits.
I walk over to that.
Sebastian takes at least 3 pastries.
And then Veo takes one of those pastries out of your hand. Starts eating.
Fair.
As you are stuffing your mouths with food, Isabel Azio comes into the room, and she sighs and says, "After your adventures yesterday, I'm honestly not surprised that you're starving. Please enjoy."
Thank you.
It's a regular occurrence for me, I'll be honest.
I hope that any wounds that you suffered yesterday, that you're recovering well. Hopefully, there's a lot less physical action that you must go through today with this Gasconade.
You know, it's really quite amazing that all you need is a good night's sleep and your wounds kind of just disappear. It's beautiful.
Yes, it's an interesting game of life that we all happen to play in.
I don't question it. I'm just so tough. Most things just... Yeah.
I assume it's because Pluto's tough, I'm magical, Veo's a cat. It all checks out.
Yeah. That passes my... That's all I need to know about life.
I have had the Guard of Illyria, the Guard of Liberia, scour the houses and marketplaces and the streets of Liberia, searching for anyone that might be connected to this Altbrook University or this guild of conscientious practice and scientific discovery. The notable thing is that there are several physicians and apothecaries in Liberia working, and so we were able to find a few individuals with some connections to this organization, including several graduates of Altbrook University that still have connections. I have asked them to come to Anchor Citadel, where they are being kept under guard. It is a little bit of an extra legal situation. They're not under arrest, so we can't keep them, because we have nothing to charge them with. We have no evidence. But you're free to question them. They're just not obligated to answer you.
Everybody that you brought in, are they currently people residing in Liberia who have been here long term? There was nobody who wasn't a resident of Liberia?
Well, notably amongst the individuals that we found, there were a few physicians, doctors that are people traveling through, and from what I could determine from them, they had no connections to this Altbrook University nor this guild of conscientious practice and scientific discovery. Yet one individual was rather notable. One Dr. Ada Brandt, who is the personal physician to House Malvolio. She is a graduate of Altbrook University from Westamar, and did identify herself immediately when we asked as a member of this organization. We've asked her to come in. She might be good for questioning. At the same time, we did find a few others that had passed through. There was another individual, one Austin Stowe, that is a ship's doctor from a vessel that came out of Westamar, but hasn't been in Westamar for at least 10 years, at least according to the captain of his ship. The other individual that was connected to Altbrook University themselves is another individual that has their own practice helping the more downtrodden and less privileged individuals within our fair city. And this was one, Alyssa Snyder, another physician working in the city. I have apprehended all three of them, if you wish to question any of them.
What was that first name again? There was Austin Snow, Alyssa Snyder, and the first one was...
Ada Bronte.
Ada Bronte, yes.
And none of them have any connection to, at least that you could find, to House Leonte or the Duke Bernardo?
No.
I have found a clue. All of their names start with A.
They're onto something.
Yes.
They're the biggest lead we have.
Well, I say we question them, but already I'm starting to suspect that the people that we're after have probably, as was said earlier, left Liberia. Because if these people, if they didn't come in on the ship, then they're not the people we're looking for.
No, but who knows what they might know about former classmates or the organization.
The other
That's
thing
true.
we should follow up on is Blackjack Mel. And if these people know, like, we know we've had Wilhelm targeted by assassins. Okay, Sebastian, you need to know that, like, Wilhelm was, you know, someone's after him, and I guess we don't know if this plot was it about him, or was it about something bigger? Were they hoping to knock off someone else that was going to be attendance at the ceremony at the Gasconade? So it's difficult to see if he is the true target. The challenging part is that you have this one scenario where you have specific these awful machines that came after him, but then this just seems so passive. Like, a lot of things could have gone wrong. It makes me think that it's not the same people.
Then again, apothecaries kind of branch out in their areas of expertise. It could be that one group was working on machines, another group was working on zombies, both making weapons. But we're jumping to conclusions. I don't think we should approach these people with ill intent or accusations. I think that we just can see if they can help us.
Plead for information.
Yeah.
Curiosity.
I think that we should question all three of them at the same time. As a professional investigator, I like to do things as quickly as possible and efficiently.
I feel like that's just the worst. Yeah, Sebastian, you're gonna want to separate them. If they have any connection with each other, you want to be able to make sure that their stories line up and they don't have the opportunity to get things together or to play off each other's information. We only give them information that they've given us. I feel like, how many glasses of wine have you had today?
It is 10 o'clock in the morning. It's not even 10 o'clock in the morning. It is very early morning. Pluto.
The
Zero. I've had tea.
The consul says, from what I was able to gather, all three of them do know each other. But I assume that was, from what I've gathered at least, it was more of a professional association rather than any sort of personal friendship.
Okay, then we open up with Ada. Austin's been talking smack about your business. Okay? We heard from Alyssa that you're not on great terms. Tell us more about that. We turn them against each other. Start mixing the pot.
No, Pluto, we're the heroes. Remember, they told us we were heroes.
Okay, I gotta ride that out for another 12 hours or so.
Pluto, we just want to know what they know. I say that we're gonna go in there and question them. We can question them one at a time if you want, but I think we should just get what information we can.
Let's be friends. Let's be friends. Let's make some friends.
Listen, good cop, right? What's a cop?
Good guard, bad cat.
Good guard, good guard. Bad cat.
Guard.
Good cop, good
Middle
cop.
guard. Neutral guard.
Hungry cat.
Do you want me to play bad guard? Good guard, bad guard? Do you want to do it?
I think we should do, yeah, good guard, bad guard.
Alright,
So-
Pluto, you're good guard.
Yeah.
Veo, neutral guard. I'll be bad guard.
And we have to switch on the fly. So as soon
Yeah.
as, if I see you pulling the nice card, I gotta come in hard.
How hard do you want me to go with bad guard?
I just...
Not
no
fireball
magic.
hard.
No fire. Let's put a hard stop on fire. Magic is still on the table, just hard stop on fire.
Just like more
Okay.
mind magic if
Yeah,
possible.
that's what they're...
Okay.
Can we zone of can we Ignatius the situation? I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay. Just have it as a beacon in the middle of the room. It's hanging like it's the only light in the room. It's just swinging back and
This
forth.
is fire soul.
Tell me what you know.
Alright.
The sword swinging back. Oh.
Pluto, remember, you're good guard.
I mean, until I need to be. But you tell me when to muscle them up. I can get angry. I'll picture them as a troll.
Okay.
I'm concerned about this plan, but let's go.
We are not trained in this at all.
No, none of us have ever done this before.
Okay.
Wait. What, is it normally
Who do we start
persuasion?
with?
Do we persuade them?
I mean, you don't. I mean, I'm not gonna persuade them.
Investigate
I'm gonna
them?
persuade them with my muscle.
Deceive them?
Okay. So, Isabella Ezio and her personal guard lead the group of you from her home through the promenades, the streets, the boulevards, and the canals of Liberio to Anchor Citadel, the military fortress of Liberio. Anchor Citadel is a multi-tiered walled fortress with impressive battlements made of a kind of a light red-white brick, almost a sandstone. The citadel itself straddles the coast, and what's notable about it is that there are several sea gates as part of the walls of the citadel that would actually allow ships into the citadel to dock within the fortification proper, because the citadel is both a secure harbor and a shipyard where the fleet of Liberio is constructed and uses as its base. The towers of Anchor Citadel are all bristling with cannons, and the beacons that provide the security for the entire harbor. It is said that the cannon towers of Anchor Citadel, that the artillery crews have mapped out the entire harbor of Liberio and have the formulas to accurately bombard a ship anywhere in the harbor at a moment's notice. So any attack by sea is utterly doomed, because every single location that the cannons need to aim has been already prepared by the expert crews of Anchor Citadel. And so, as you are led through the gates of the Citadel, what's notable about Anchor Citadel is that you actually do need to get onto a boat to get into the gates, because there are a few land gates, but all the land-based gates are cranes that come out over the walls to bring supplies in. There's no actual proper land-based gatehouse. Everything is brought in by sea. Anchor Citadel is one of the prides of Liberio, and has withstood sieges from every great nation of the continent.
See you guys later tonight. Have a nice day.